5 of the Futsal Champions Series. In a night of rivalries, we travel to a hotbed for futsal in the United States, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Two teams from Grand Rapids showcase for the first time this year as Midwest United host in-town rivals Ole Futsal Club. Formerly known as Migos, Midwest has 2 series titles in their trophy case. Ole joins FCS this season fresh off a championship run in a previous league. Hungry for a new challenge, familiar faces await first for Ole as they cross town. How will the familiarity of these players impact the intensity of this match? Fans are in for a treat as the intensity of this match will be at an all-time high. Who will win the first leg of the battle for Grand Rapids? Stay tuned as Midwest United hosts Ole Futsal Club now.
Welcome everyone to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where we see 2 teams facing off for the first time. It's Midwest United versus Ole Futsal Club. 2 teams that are very familiar with each other here, guys, and we're going to join this stream together. I'm Jake George. Welcome to the stream. Going to be joining you guys for the action. I appreciate you guys joining us here on the stream. Our first time ever streaming in FCS this season. And we are working through some technical difficulties and getting everything honed in just right. So you guys will be seeing us work on improving this production as we go. And you guys are going to be able to enjoy the action. And action is what we have in full tonight. We have Ole Futsal Club traveling across town, quote unquote, to face in-town rivals Midwest United. A lot of familiarity between these 2 teams, as a lot of them have shared time together in the youth and have now found themselves on opposite sides of the ball, and our game is live, and you get to enjoy it now. Midwest currently on the ball. A lot of familiarity between these clubs, as I said, led by Midwest United, Gio Garcia. He knows this Ole Futsal Club through and through, and opposing coach Fabian, as they actually saw Gio be their very first ever registrant for the club when he was just a mere 4 years old. So can't wait to see if this ends up being a complete meat grinder, as these guys know all the tricks in each of their bags. Right now, Midwest playing out of the back, looking to find a rotation, trying to find a way to get a shot on, and Freddie is tested right away, gets down, gets it out of there.
Trying to find a way to get it
out there from the Ole goalkeeper, someone who's had some collegiate activity in futsal as well, as he played for the short period of time that Westcliff University had a squad and traveled all the way out to Irvine, California. Now we find him back home in Grand Rapids and back in this Ole squad, someone who's been in it from the youth level. You're going to find that's a common story here. Another shot across the face of goal from Midwest. No one there to punch it in on the back. Now a chance for Ole to start something out of the back. Lito to his brother Sammy. They're finding a way to try and make a rotation. Midwest not letting them do too much, but Lito now finds himself with some space. Midwest snuffs it out. Couple of good switches there, but it's high press from Ole, not letting them stay on the ball or stay comfortable. Definitely something you guys will see from these clubs is their intensity on the ball. Both sides talking about how there's a lot of pride on the line in this game. It's not just about these guys knowing each other, the familiarity, the little bit of natural rivalry that we see amongst this, but also, just the pride that you get to take back in town. This futsal community in Grand Rapids is a hotbed, and everyone's going to come out of this knowing who won, who lost, and it'll be bragging rights till they get to be seen again. Another shot across the face, a goal there. And a big line change from Ole, something you'll see quite a bit. Looks like we've got Daniel Diaz on the ball for the first time. They're finding a way to get a rotation for Ole. Down the middle. And we've got our first foul. Looking at the replay here, guys.
Finding a way to get a rotation.
And a lot of legs in there that led to that foul. In a dangerous place for Ole, a team that really likes their set pieces. Let's see how they set up from here. Interesting setup so far, actually. All burying themselves on that back corner. You got to imagine there's going to be a run out of here to create some space and try and split up this defense. Again, I apologize for some of the technical difficulties here, guys, that we work through, but we're going to do everything we can to improve it so you can enjoy this match. Definitely a highlight of the season is the opportunity we see between these two teams. Goalkeeper Jose Vaccaro bringing it out for Midwest. They start things off. Plays it off to Daniel, who's now trying to find a way to get through rotation here. And we find it going just out of bounds and going to Olay on the other side. Another reset out of the back for Midwest as they look to make an effort here. Looks like they're doing a three-man rotation out of the back and trying to find a way to break through this Olay side. But in this case, Olay sits back and lets them do that rotation without much pressure and waits for them to come to them and protect that pivot at the top and make sure he doesn't get an easy pass. Now Olay looking to make something out of the back. They're going through a similar rotation, but this time they find somebody over the top. Nice pivot-fixo battle in the back corner there, and it leads to nothing for Olay. Another goalie throw for Midwest. Both teams really knocking on the door here. You got to feel like we're going to have a break in the score here sooner than later. More high press from Olay trying to snuff this out, but Midwest finds their way out. A lot of interesting thoughts coming from the coaches this week. I had an opportunity to speak to both of them. Gio, like I said, very familiar. And there's our first goal. Olay Futsal by jumping on restart. As his defender's pocket gets picked. Easy pickings for Olay Futsal Club. Unfortunately, I could not see who scored that one, but a great start for Olay. We talk about momentum all the time on these live streams, and the momentum is going to be huge if Midwest lets Olay continue this kind of pressure and get away with it. They need to find a way to break through this squad and bring that intensity back on the other side, and they almost do there. A great back post find goes across the goal, but unfortunately not to be just yet, but not the first one of those we've seen tonight. You gotta feel like it's coming. This time Midwest with the kick in. Again, Olay jumps on it. Now we see another counter, this time from Midwest. They're able to clean it up. They're looking for another shot off that back post. A little bit of dribbling, and it's outside and over the top. Gotta love the intensity that both these teams are bringing in the beginning of this game. Can something come from this corner kick? Midwest spreads the court. Again, looking for that back post. The run from the outside ala there, just not quite there to tap that in. But, man, you got to feel like this is working really well for Midwest. Olay needs to find a way to either protect that middle or take that out of the game plan because they have just been knocking on the door looking for their first goal of the season in front of their home fans. Interesting from Midwest. Talking to Coach Gio during the middle of the week, he said that the familiarity and the family atmosphere that they grew up in Grand Rapids with the futsal community is going to make this really intense because they know each other so well. And there's a shot from Midwest. Great battle on the ball. And that's number 9 for Midwest, Eduardo Mendez, who finds a way to get a shot on frame, putting the goalkeeper to work again for Frankie Mendoza. Gio looking for that familiarity out of this and finding a way to break through some of Coach Fabian's usual strategies and plans. Coach Fabian known for his consistency, though, and his patience and having it through this club. It's definitely going to be a tough task, but a lot of talent on both sides of the ball here. You can't put either team away from potentially running away with this or making a big statement in Game 1. And both teams agreed that there was no better way they could think of to start their seasons than with this rivalry match. It is going to set the tone for the rest of the season, and they think that this is going to be very monumental to the way that the rest of the plans for the season go. Olay looking dangerous here, right at the top of the arc. A shot and a deflection. Really great save from Jose, but the danger's not away as they see a corner kick. Olay opts to play it out wide. Looking to reset their rotation, find a way to break this Midwest defense. But Midwest finds a way to try and keep that ball away, but it is out of bounds for a kick-in before they could start their counter of their own. Speaking of looking for that counter, another thing that Coach Gio said that was really important to him would be looking for that right time to strike. And this is Olay doing the same thing, and again, they score on a defensive giveaway. Chris Mendez with the goal for Olay. A stalwart in this squad. He's seen tons of pressure in finals with this team. He's very familiar. He's a regular in the squad. You got to imagine that he's going to feel right at home again this season and put out a great effort on the court. He's so instrumental to the way this team plays. A lot of characters on this team that do that. Bit of a scrum in front of the goal, but it is taken away, and Midwest trying to relieve some pressure here. Again, trying to find that rotation to break this Olay defense. Olay playing high, starting to press. Doing a great job at seams, communicating with each other about where these players are running, not breaking that shape in the middle. Here we have Midwest again. Holding off the ball, but looking at a double. Is able to get it away before it goes out of bounds. And it looks like we have our first foul of the game, or excuse me, second foul of the game for Midwest. Again in a dangerous place, but Olay opts to just reset their rotation. What could be next for this squad and for the action here is Olay standing up on the ball. Daniel Diaz this time. Finding number 5, Joan Vasquez. A bunch of regular names if you guys are familiar with following Olay Futsal Club and their previous endeavors in NFPL. This team has been together for a long time. Something that Fabian takes a lot of pride in. Coach Fabian telling me this week that it is the family atmosphere of this club that makes them special as well. Similar to the story at Midwest as they start to build up an attack. And it's that fact that these players have played together for so long and that the game strategy of Olay Futsal Club is practiced to some degree throughout their youth academy as well. Really sticking to their core values, really sticking to their core strategy. And what you'll find in this roster when you look real close is you're going to find people like Lito Esquivel, who are leaders of young youth academies, are now playing with some of the products from those youth academies. And they're all playing together and they all know the drill. That chemistry is unmatched, and that is what makes them special. Olay again, playing out of the back, playing patient. Little rotation at about half court, looking for that way to penetrate through and find that lethal pass for a shot. So far, their offensive efforts haven't been what gotten them the goals. It's been the defensive efforts with the high press. Will we see something special out of this rotation here? Midwest looking like they've got the middle pretty well locked in. Strong formation, keeping it away. It leads to a deflection, but still Olay ball. Another reset here. Goes all the way back to Frankie. Ball over the top leads straight to goalkeeper Jose Vicario for Midwest, and he opts to play it short to Eduardo Mendez. Another pocket pick from Olay. Will this lead to a goal? No, it's a save from Jose, but he's not out of trouble yet. His defense trying to find a way to get out. Ultimately, it ends up in his hands. Great defensive effort, but a ton of pressure again from Olay, looking to expand on that scoreline and make a statement in Game 1 of FCS. Pick in here for Midwest in a dangerous area. They opt to reset and play it back. Now to the opposite side of the court. Great effort from Lito. Deflects to his teammate. Midwest snuffs it out and kills it before anything can happen of any danger. Lito again on the ball. Finds brother Sammy. Sammy turning, looking for that shot. Can't quite get it out from under him, and he gets double teamed as well. And now it's a Midwest kick in. Midwest looking to build out of the back again. Currently with number 5. Daniel, someone that also has a lot of experience with this Olade side that he sees across the court from him. Bit of a misconnection there between those two players. Number 4 for Midwest. Alan Lemus finds himself just behind the ball. Pass pretty far ahead of him. They're looking for a way to reconnect on this, but they first got to steal the ball from Olay. Noticing a lot of physical play across FCS. It looks like so far no different in Grand Rapids. Again, these guys really want it. This is a rivalry game building, during the offseason. A lot of playing it down. Hey, look, we all know each other. We're all very familiar with each other. It almost doesn't feel like a rivalry, but as we got closer and closer to this date, I noticed that not only talking to some of the players, but also to the coaches, starting to feel that energy in the city of Grand Rapids and what's really to be expected, and we're seeing it now. Another steal from Olay, this time in the middle of the court. A breakaway here. Midwest United, great job staying in front of that. It's Daniel DeLeon. He's been involved very early in this match quite a bit. We've been saying his name quite often. Lito with a shot. Ends up harmlessly going through, but it does take a deflection for a corner kick. Midwest still not out of trouble. Lito over the corner. Finds brother Sammy at half court. He looks to make a switch. Olay looking to break through. Almost had a screen there. Important thing to know for those of you new from futsal is you can... and then we almost have a shot there and a deflection. Some more offensive effort this time for Midwest in their credit. When I apologize, it looks like this is actually going to not have taken a deflection. It's Grand Rapids Olay's ball. And Sammy finds himself streaking down. And a shot and a goal! Amazing! Amazing individual effort from Sammy. Has to dive at the ball to get a piece of that and get it across. And I didn't see exactly who got that. It looks like it might have been Adrian Diaz. Another goal to credit of Olay Futsal Club. Really taking control of this match, but Midwest looking to make a quick counter and get on it. Unfortunately, it deflects away for them, but they are still in control as they now have a corner. Rolls back out to Antonio Discareno. Ultimately, that play breaks down, but they're able to keep control. Number 10, Fikret, now on the ball. Fikret Hesovic. Midwest keeping control, playing a little more patient than they did before. Trying to get those early game jitters out as they are under the lights for the first time this season. Again, we see another corner in this match. I guess I'm going to regret this later. I probably should have kept a closer eye on how many corner counts we have in the first half. It looks like it's becoming a bit of a story. Midwest ultimately playing all the way back to their other touchline, opposite touchline on their end of the court. It leads to a deflection for a goalie throw, but Olay not letting up on the pressure, not resting on their laurels, and it looks like they're hungry for more. That shot's just off frame from Midwest, but they are knocking on the door. Both teams doing an excellent job. Frankie Mendoza distributes to the center there. We find Chris Mendez, big part of this team. He finds a way to rip off a shot, even with two guys on him. Ultimately, Midwest snuffs it out. Now they're looking to counter. Olay getting set quickly, and it's a safe save for Frankie. Ole now on the ball. Rotating across court, trying to find a way to break these guys down again of Midwest United. Another corner kick for Midwest. Finding themselves in a lot of pressure after a short corner, and it turns out to be an Ole ball as they again steal and go on a counter. Another great save from Jose Vicario, but it gets put back. Oh my goodness. What an effort from Ole, but Jose is up to the task. He finds himself, again, a corner situation for Ole. They reset all the way back. Looking to create some more magic like they just did. Finding themselves in another rotation, a little bit of a 3-1 out of the back. One of the things that Coach Fabian is really proud of is the fact that as his kids through his academy grow up, they start to learn more and more different formations and rotation styles of futsal. So right now, seeing a nice 3-1 rotation coming out of Ole, but it's important for fans to know that that's not all they know. And here's a quick, oh my goodness, quick shot from Ole on the corner, but it turns into a Midwest counter. Can they put a shot on frame? Frankie is up to the task, and he deflects it away. Frankie Mendoza. The scoreline may look like Ole's in control of this match, but he's putting quite a bit of work. And we see our first timeout of the game. Midwest in this timeout, surely thinking of a way that they can break through this Ole side, but more importantly, I'm sure that Coach Gio is talking to them about cleaning up this defense a little bit, being a little more mindful of that quick high press that Ole has taken advantage of them on a couple of occasions now. If they can get a little better control of the ball in their own half, they will surely create some opportunities as you feel their first goal is only moments away. They've put on some great pressure on the opposite side of the court, but it's those opportunities that Ole has taken advantage of that lack of swiftness coming out of the restarts that they need to clean up a little bit as they look ahead to the rest of this half. Ole, on the other hand, has got to feel really good about where things are. Getting back to the action here shortly as the teams wrap up their team talks and look to get back onto the court here at Aquinas College in Grand Rapids. A facility that just hosted a volleyball final today. So a lot of action at Aquinas on campus today. If you're looking for high-intensity sports, this is the place to get it in Grand Rapids this evening. Teams getting back to the court, setting up for what will be a corner kick. Looks like a short one here for Midwest, looking to make a play. Ultimately resets for a goalie throw. He goes to Lito in the center. Lito Esquivel, a man with a lot of experience on these courts. And he finds himself on the back of the next pass. Oh, an unfortunate deflection, but luckily goes out of bounds for a corner kick for Midwest. That could have been disastrous coming out of the timeout to right away find themselves on the back foot. Now they have to deal with this corner kick. A shot at the top of the arc. Jose finds a piece of it. Ooh, saves it on the backside. Luckily able to dull that shot enough to buy some time to catch it on the back end. Great effort from him. Now we see number 12 for Midwest. Anthony Garcia looking to find a distribution to the other side of the court. Ole, a quick miscue as they're side by side, but now they're looking to find their typical shape and working their way down the court. Looks like a potential opportunity here again as Midwest can't find a way to get out of the back. And it looks like we have a reset here. Coming back for a foul. Lito on the ball for Ole as they look to make another offensive effort back to brother Sammy Esquivel. That brother connection. We see a lot of brotherly connections in FCS this year as there's several, actually, brothers within the league. We see 2 sets of brothers with Midwest United out of Detroit. We see twins with Ole, with Daniel and Adrian Diaz returning back to the squad after a year off away. And then, of course, the Esquivel brothers that are so instrumental to this Ole squad, co-captains. Older brother Lito leading with a great cerebral effort on the court. Has got a subtle mind game to him as he's on the court and really just working players and making his feet do the work, but always a menace. Sammy, a little more bold in his personality. You see a lot more outward energy from him in the way that he deals with the opposing teams, and he likes to mix it up in the verbal confrontations and making a difference and getting into players' heads. Lito doing it with his feet. Sammy also so good on his feet, but more well known for his voice. And here's a shot from him, just off frame. Looking ahead here as Midwest restarts the ball. Ole back on the ball here. Looking to find that rotation again at half court like they have for most of this half. Lito now in the corner. Takes his shot. Definitely a low percentage opportunity there for Lito, but still gets a chance there. Looks like Midwest did a good job cutting off his passing options, but now off the corner, Ole almost finds a way to poke one in, but now we see Midwest on the counterattack. Can they make something of it? Charging down the court. We see Frankie on his toes, waiting for that shot. He knows it's coming. No, Ole with a counterattack. Oh, and as they pass back and forth, Jair Real finds the ball just behind him. A great young talent on this squad. You know, as I was commentating in the previous game with Jared and his familiarity with Lansing City and that honesty there in the beginning of the stream for you guys about that connection, we also have that here as I've spent a lot of time with Grand Rapids Ole. I mean, no disrespect for the Midwest guys as I get more familiar with them and their kit numbers, but I am very familiar with Grand Rapids. So I want to assure you guys, I'm not trying to be biased towards Grand Rapids in this stream. I'm just a little more familiar with the guys and the jersey numbers, but I will work on it for you. Make sure that I'm giving you guys fair commentary the best that I can. Now, 4 minutes left in this first half. Midwest find themselves over top of the ball with a kick in just inside of the half. They're finding a way to keep the ball here in these couple of 30 seconds, trying to find a way to probe, and they find an opening. I apologize to you guys as well. I had a down moment on the feed where I missed that Midwest goal, and it looks like they're creating some great momentum for themselves as they're trying to get back in this game and doing a great job of doing so. Neither of these teams can ever be counted out of any match. They play to the final whistle, and you can expect that here, especially with so much on the line in game number 1. And another goal for Midwest. And you can tell how much it means to the fans. The stands are shaking here in Aquinas College. Frankie getting to the first one, can't get to the second one, deflects right to the feet of another player who's able to put it in top bins for Midwest United. It is a game again, guys, 3-2. Ole staying calm, looking for a play. Mose Crawford just missing to a chance to move forward. Number 9 for Midwest, Eduardo Mendez. He opts to rotate back and create some more space. Now we see it at the feet of Gerardo Montanez, excuse me. Eduardo in the bottom corner. He finds a way back to center, but Olay looking for a counterattack. Can they make something of it here? Jose gets a piece of it, but it's being called back. A yellow card. It looks like we might have a handball, I believe. It looked like his arm might have been out. Maybe they decided that was a yellow card worthy opportunity there, as it was a breakaway and an opportunity on goal that was thwarted. Now we see a free kick in a very dangerous position for Olay Futsal Club, as they love restarts in these kinds of positions. Mose over top of the ball. Mose Crawford for Olay Futsal Club. He opts to play it to his left. It's almost taken away by Midwest. Olay finds a way to keep the ball. But for how long as the pressure intensifies from Midwest on the defense? It's snuffed out. Goalkeeper Jose looking for a quick restart. Can they get a quick 1-2 to get an opportunity on Frankie? He finds a way to scoop up the ball on a shot. Olay now looking to work out of the back. Finding the middle. Creating some space. They opt to restart and be patient, something that they've been known for even in high-intensity situations like this, keeping their head, trusting the process, trusting the rotation. One notable player not in the lineup for either team tonight is Jonathan Stout, who has had experience with both clubs. Jonathan playing with Migos before they rebranded to Midwest, and then also playing with Midwest United last season. He has been such a presence on this futsal court and came out of Olay Futsal Club. He's an All-American at Michigan State University, and he's one of the few players, Coach Fabian says, is that you'll find that had skipped the traditional collegiate path of trying to get recruited for college and opted to go through futsal trainings instead, and is a real testament to the potential path for futsal players in the United States. Such a great story behind young Jonathan Stout. He finds himself back in Olay colors this season, going back to his roots. Very great player, very talented player that gets up top and creates a lot of danger for defenses, and is definitely going to be welcomed back amongst some other powerhouses on this Olay side that have returned, like the Diaz brothers, who had put out so much offensive output together with Jonathan Stout in seasons past before that shift for college for Jonathan. On the other side of the ball, Midwest United will be looking to Gio to really lead them through this game. He knows so much about this Olay playbook and has learned a ton. He had a great playing career himself with Olay and Midwest. He finds himself as a first-time coach this season after getting second place in the last series as a player. Talking to Hector Fernandez, who runs this futsal side of the club for Midwest United, he talks a lot about Gio's personality and what makes him so great as a coach. And Gio himself has said on several occasions how much he loves a challenge and how he felt like this was the right timing to take on coaching as his next challenge and lead this Midwest side. Great opportunity for him. Another story of early roots, as Gio and Hector go way back in the day as well. So a lot of people on this court and in this match that know each other extremely well, and it is now showcased by the scoreline only being 3-2. Getting set up for a restart for Midwest deep in the other side. It goes high and out of bounds. We'll see Frankie Mendoza restart the ball for Grand Rapids Olay. That distribution turns out.
Trying to find a way to get it. Finding a way to get a rotation for Olay.
Welcome back, everyone, to halftime in Grand Rapids. We're gearing up for the second half. Teams starting to come out. Looks like they might have to challenge some of the youth of Grand Rapids to win this court back. That'd be a feat in of itself. Couple thoughts from the first half from a rookie commentator here with you guys. You know, Midwest did a great job retaking control of that game as they looked on through the half, got rid of some of those early game jitters, and have really been controlling the center of the court and starting to get rid of some of those early turnovers that they were suffering through to start the first half. They've made a game out of this thing in a really great way. Olay pouncing on everything, using their experience, using their connection amongst themselves and their likeness to each other and playing for so long. Really shows a lot of great connectivity and chemistry amongst these guys. Can they keep it up and thwart these couple of Midwest momentum swings that they saw in the first half? Coach Gio now talking with his guys, giving them a couple final thoughts before we get going here in Grand Rapids at Aquinas College. Really clean things up here and creating a lot of trouble for Olay. Another thing for Olay, too, this is something that's kind of been a storyline with them for years. A few unnecessary fouls for them. Didn't get them into trouble this time, but they've seen in the past turn into penalty kicks. And we start off here, second half in Grand Rapids. Starts with Sammy with an early shot. It finds the side of the net, though, not the inside of the net. Instant pressure from Olay. They're looking to set the tone. Midwest now, rotating out of the back. Making the ball do the work on this nice large court that we get to enjoy at Aquinas College. Middle of the court open there with a pretty wide diamond defense from Olay. Almost turned into a shot on goal, but Olay's able to recover. Midwest looks to reset. They're still in control here. Deflection, but retained by Midwest. Looking for a pass. It's Montez. Montez for a second pass. Little bit of a connection there amongst these guys. Looks like we're going to have our first penalty kick of this season. A goalkeeper switch for Olay at halftime. We see Jorge Andres Montez in between the pipes. He finds himself in early trouble with a bad slide. And this one is from very close, top of the arc. This is going to be very tough for Montez. For these penalty kicks that are true penalties, same as an outdoor, got to stay on the line of the goal. Cannot be forward like you can be from the 10-meter mark. Very tough task for any goalkeeper, even the pros, to keep the shots out here. Midwest looking to make something of it. A shot and a goal. They get the first goal of the half. Again, you see that friendliness of these teams and knowing each other. Stern, but feeling good. And look at what it means to Midwest. They tied up 3-3 early. Here we go, another restart. Now it's 3-3. Olay with a lot of pressure, trying to make up this difference. Top of the arc. One bounce for the volley. It's out wide, not a problem. And now a long ball by Midwest, but it trickles out the other side. Nothing to it this time. Now we see Lito Esquivel with the ball for Olay Futsal Club, finding brother Sammy, who takes it to the middle. He switches sides. Young Yair Real in this group, finding some touches on the ball again. He's been an unsung hero so far in this. The pressure he puts on these teams, his footwork is very incredible. Very good watch. Again, we apologize for these early stream technical difficulties. We will have the score bug timer running for you guys to get the real game clock in just a moment. In the meantime, we're going to enjoy the action. Midwest currently on a counterattack against Olay. They find themselves streaking down the far side of the court, but it trickles out for an Olay kick in. Here with some of that footwork we just talked about. He lifts it across the middle, but nobody's there. What will come of this for Olay? High ball, bouncing ball. Jose taking no risks. Pushes it over the top of the crossbar. We saw that almost hurt the Lansing team earlier in a game before, taking those kinds of shots for granted. And he doesn't take any risks. But Olay now on the ball again, looking for a rotation. Lito runs into another defender, trying to get away from another. That ball's still live. Sammy taking a chance, talking to the ref instead of seeing that play through. And ultimately, Midwest gets the ball with the kick in. That was almost a terrible state of affairs for Olay. Midwest looking to keep this momentum going. They put another shot on, this time side of the net after a deflection. Will we see our first lead swing of the night? A lot of pressure from Midwest at the moment. They are looking really strong. Another lift, another opportunity for a shot for number 12. That's Anthony Garcia looking for a nice volley. He doesn't get it, but he does pick the pocket of Lito. Passes it away to Sammy. Olay trying to make something out of it, but Midwest is back on the ball. They're looking for a shot, and it's over the top. Deflected out by Montez. Another opportunity for a shot. Montez gets down, but his defense handles it. Kick in for Midwest on the far side of the court. They find the middle of the court, holding the ball, looking to set something up here. Nice rotation, but Olay is able to sneak the ball away. They take it and gets the save. Really great effort from both teams. Tons of offensive action for you guys tonight. Olay with the corner now. It peters out in Midwest now on the play. It goes out of the back for a goalie throw. Cross-court pass from Midwest goes out of bounds. Olay now on the ball. It's number 5, Joan Vasquez. He finds a pass on the far side of the court. Olay gives it away on a kick-in, though, after a deflection. Midwest looking to make something out of it. They go down the line and look for that cross as they have most of the game. But Montez is there to clean it up. I apologize again, guys, for the technical difficulties as we work through these first couple streams in these locations. Looking here, looks like it is Midwest ball again. They're looking to make a big run. Real big, long runs down the court from Midwest. Noticed it quite a bit on the far side. A yellow card dished out here to Midwest. But ultimately, they keep the ball. Rolling foul in this case, it appears. For those of you that might be new to futsal, that rolling foul is when they don't want to take momentum away from the team that gets advantage, just like you play an advantage in outdoor. But the refs do address it after the fact, and it does go towards that foul count that could potentially lead to those penalty kicks from the 10-meter mark later in the game. Very early in this one, not much to worry about yet on that mark, but maybe we see that become a story later on. And almost right on cue, we have another one here. Looks like against Olay, their second foul. Midwest on the ball, looking for a break in the Olay defense. They find the pass, but nowhere to go from there. They reset their rotation smartly. Smartly? Still rotating. Olay gets a piece of it. Not enough. Opportunity in front of goal, and it goes wide. Had to feel like that was a great opportunity for Midwest. They certainly had Olay on their heels. Looks like Olay may be playing a little too fast. Needs to get back to what they do best, and that's trusting the process and slowing down a little bit. Little uncharacteristic from them in the moment, but tons of pressure from Midwest. And right on cue, some pressure from Midwest now as they run down the camera side of the court. Ultimately leads to a goalie throw. Montez plays it across to the far side. But it'll reset. Referee saw something he didn't like there. And now we see a bit of a rotation from Ole trying to break up as Midwest was able to set during that time period. It looks like an opportunity for a quick shot. Chris Mendez, someone you absolutely have to keep an eye out for at the top of the box as he has developed over the last few years. Ole with a cross. Ends up behind the player on the back post. Nothing to worry about for Midwest as they look for a big sweeping change of a complete line change here. Ole opts to do the same. Jair, Sammy, out for Ole. Two big names so far in this matchup. Some of the youth out for Midwest that have put on such a great show for us tonight. Eduardo Mendez looking to find some space from Chris Mendez up top and create another lethal opportunity. Now he cuts back to help on defense. Ultimately leads to Chris Mendez, who finds Sammy on the other side. He looks for a shot. And it's a goal for Ole Futsal Club from Sammy Esquivel. 4-3. Sammy Esquivel, a fan favorite out of Ole. He'll be making the fans happy with that one. He's able to pull it back 1 goal ahead for Ole Futsal Club. Midwest now have to find a way to get rid of a deficit again. They've been up to the task so far, and it looks like that they are keeping the pressure high. For those of you that may not be familiar with Sammy Esquivel, there's a great article on the FCS website interviewing Sammy and his experience with the United States national team in their last training camp back in October. He got to travel to Virginia for his first ever call-up. Ole looking to create some more noise. They almost do, but it's a goalie throw. Sammy said in that interview that the experience there... Midwest here with a shot opportunity as I'm talking. I apologize, guys. They get a corner kick here. Let's see what comes of it. They reset, looking for the long shot. Great chance back post, not quite taken. Sammy said how his experience has really made him feel a little more confident as a leader for this Ole Futsal Club side. And has really wanted to make him train even more and harder and that experience and that intensity that he has increased because of that has fed through the whole team. They all want to be a part of that experience, and they all want to improve as a team and get that chance just like Sammy did to be a part of that national team call-up. Seen several true futsalers out of the local Midwest leagues get call-ups to the national team in this last camp. They're making us really proud. Congratulations to Sammy as representing FCS in that trip. But right now it's about Midwest as they look for a kick in and look to swing this momentum in their favor again. Great cross-court pass. Back to the middle. They're looking for that probing pass to find the back post. Expanding the court, expanding the play, backing up into their own half. Turnover, though, to Ole. Jair on the ball, feeds it back off. Ultimately out for a kick in for Ole. They opt to reset in their own half. Sammy on the backside of the court. He looks for another shot. Certainly feeling confident after that last goal. Another shot for Ole. Not quite in their favor. Long shot there from Midwest from their own arc. I think they saw Ole kind of sleeping on the defense there. Villarreal sees the danger and is able to deflect it out of bounds, gives his team a chance to reset, and they do. A lot of great off-the-ball runs from Midwest here, looking for a way to break this Ole side. Give them a ton of credit for what they've done in this match so far, hosting their FCS match, first one of the season. Another great shot from Midwest, just off target. Now we see Ole on the ball. They lift it down the middle. A little miscue from Midwest, but goalkeeper Jose is able to clear it out and reset for everyone. Trying to create some control of this game. Ole again finds himself across the middle. Shot! And it's another goal for Ole Futsal Club. They again find themselves up by 2 in this match. Chris Mendez finds the back of the net. What an absolute rocket from center there for Chris Mendez. He subs off after a beautiful goal. Now another rotation in for Ole. We see number 10 for Midwest on the ball. That's Fikret Hesovic. His name been called a few times here. Been a big part of the distribution for Midwest and trying to find those goals. Ole with the ball deep in their own side, and then ultimately goes out. Mose Crawford looking for a little lift to find Azala. Great pressure from Midwest. You got to feel like that next goal is coming for them. Another opportunity for Ole. It gets snuffed out by a tough physical effort from Midwest United. Number 10 on the side there for Midwest. Fikret finds himself on that touchline close to the camera again. Distributes to the center. Ultimately, it goes out of bounds. A redistribution for Montez out of the back. Now we find ourselves with a corner kick for Midwest. Pressure still high. They look for the lift across. It ends up being deflected by Ole. They reset. Midwest resets back, to their Fixo. He finds space on the opposite side of court on the far side. Ends up out of bounds, but Midwest will retain the ball on the kick in. They reset their space, looking for a way to break through this Ole defense. They do. Shot through the middle, deflected by Ole, looking for the counter. Midwest trying to snuff it out. They do, but at the cost of a foul. Dangerous place for a set piece for Ole. We've mentioned it several times, but they've not made anything of the set pieces just yet. Will this be the one that turns into something special? Midwest protecting the center of their arc. Out for the short pass. It goes back. The wall's still there, close enough to deflect it out. Huge battle for the ball on the camera side. Ultimately ends up being a kick-in for Midwest United after a real great battle. Long ball down the court. Ole playing really strong. You can see how tight this defensive effort is getting. Very strong play by both players, getting feet in, trying to find a way to kill any kind of momentum before it turns into a potent counterattack. Ole looking to make a few subs. But in the meantime, they have an attack of their own. It dies out, but is a goalie throw here for Midwest. Jose looking high. Tangle up between the Fixo and the Pivo there. Doesn't work out in Midwest's favor. Number 3, Boris Lalick getting tied up there with, it looks like, Jair from Ole. So many classic moments in futsal come from that Fixo-Pivo battle that we get to see. Looks like we got a yellow card here. Is that an illegal substitution for Midwest? Maybe jumping the gun, or did something else happen there that I might have missed? Several yellows handed out in this game, turning out to be a true rivalry match. A lot of chippiness, a lot of intensity. The most yellows we've seen in a game so far of any FCS match, although, granted, we have only had 4 matches. This is number 5 and number 6 going, or excuse me, this is number 5 of 5 going on now as we see Detroit rivalry going on another stream here within FCS. Looks like we're having a little conversation amongst the referees. Sorting things out. A lot of pointing. And it looks like Olay will be at a man advantage here. I apologize, guys. I don't know exactly what's going on that caused this. But Midwest will be playing a man down. It looks like it was a second yellow for that player, and he finds himself out of the match. So for those of you new to futsal, that red card means that Olay will play against Midwest a man up for the next 2 minutes or until they score, at which point Midwest will be allowed to come back to full strength. But with the amount of pressure we've seen come from Olay, you got to imagine that there's going to be some massive offensive efforts coming on their side to try and take advantage of this man, the man advantage, excuse me. But Midwest has done a great job in this game. Can they hold off Olay for 2 minutes till they can get full strength? Let's see what comes of this kick in. Lito over the ball. He passes back to Sammy. Olay opting to take their time. What's most important here is not a turnover. Midwest staying tight, protecting the middle. Olay passing side to side, trying to find that penetrating pass. Notice Lito on the touchline. Now he breaks out. They reset. Jair looking for the ball back. Sammy's going to get it instead, but he finds Jair out wide. Nick runs all the way back to Montez, but Midwest smartly sitting back, not taking the bait on trying to get overextended as they are a man down. The Esquivel brothers passing back and forth. Patience. And a shot down the line. Very tough angle there for Jair Real. Jose Vicario takes great care of that one. Not much there to be worried about. Exactly what Midwest wants. You're not going to stop Olay from finding a shot when you're a man down, but make sure it is a low probability shot that isn't going to result in a goal. Great job so far of handling that business. Sammy now on the ball. Midwest with a potential counterattack. It gets snuffed out straight away. Half of this 2-minute penalty has been put away. Midwest staying tight, playing smart, shifting intelligently. There's another great shot from Olay, but again, it's a low probability shot as it's right down the line. Midwest doing a great job of controlling this disadvantage. Can they keep it up? Apologize for the technical difficulties here as we try to get a better angle on the goal. Sammy Esquivel with another one there. Unfortunately, we missed it. Looking at action across the league, you guys saw possibly the first game of the night at 6 p.m. Lansing City traveled to Jenga in Cincinnati. They ultimately ended up losing 4-2 in a match that Jenga jumped out straight away with a couple of quick goals and Despite Lansing really controlling the pace of game in that first half, Jenga was doing a great job of snuffing out the star players in Lansing, like Jeremy Kleppal, like Drew Barney, and controlled the game, and they get another win. They are 2-1 to start the season. Shot there from Midwest. Great shot. Puts Montez on his side. Deflection in their favor. This shot's high. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the league, we have a game going on at Lansing Arena between Midwest FC and Detroit Imperial, both out of Detroit, Michigan. Another rivalry match for the night. Imperial is up 3-1 in that match. Midwest working out of the back here, trying to change the fate of this game. 9 minutes and 10 seconds roughly to go. Appreciate you guys hanging with us as we try to tweak this stream for you to get you the best possible angles. Midwest, chance for a counter here. Can they make something of it? Tries the shot, bounces around. Montez is ready to roll. He tosses it off to Johan. He sends it down the line. Finds Chris Mendez. Ultimately, it's Midwest ball again. Anthony Garcia, pivot up top, is able to play it back. Montez gets a hold of it and keeps it. Not an easy feat in futsal, and that ball was really flying. Great effort by him. Midwest now on the ball after a couple of deflections back and forth in a tough one-on-one battle. Important for Olay not to get comfortable against this team, as they have put a ton of pressure on. 3 goals is not safe in futsal, especially with so much time left. Midwest on another counter. They find themselves with a man advantage, but put it in the side netting. Number 5 for Midwest, Daniel DeLeon, who's been a big part of this game. Another offensive effort to his credit, but unfortunately, technically not on frame. Olay now, under some high pressure, trying to work it out of the back. Cannot use Montez as he's already been used once. Now they get a reset. Montez's touch possibly reset. Will they use it? No, they go for the long ball. Midwest is ready for it. Some back and forth here ultimately leads to a kick in for Midwest United. Roughly 8 minutes to go in this match. The first ever battle for Grand Rapids in FCS. What a great introduction to these teams. We see another big line swap from both teams simultaneously. Midwest playing out of the back. Really utilizing the entire space of this beautiful Aquinas College basketball court. An amazing facility with a ton of space that allows us to play a full-size futsal court. Not typically common to see this capability inside of a gymnasium in the United States. Sammy Esquivel plays it out wide for Olay. Receives it back in the middle of the center arc as he's looking for a way to play out of the back. Again finds the far line. Again, it is returned to him. His pass the opposite direction, deflected. But Olay keeps the ball. They're looking for another reset. Aaron Gomez running down the court, looking for an opportunity there. Sammy looking for the lift, but can't quite make it happen. Aaron Gomez, another great name that Coach Fabian is really excited about in this squad. His output has been really high in the last couple seasons. He's expecting big things in the future of Aaron. Zamudio on the ball. He finds Esquivel. Back to Zamudio. Great cross-court play, but ultimately leads to nothing. Midwest back on the ball. Curious to see if we see any timeouts used here soon to try and reset the strategy and find a way to break Olay for Midwest. Eduardo Mendez helping rotate the ball around for Midwest United. He finds himself in the center with the ball again. Looks for the ball inside. Unfortunately, it bounces off the foot of, I believe that's Jorge Saldanas. Another big part of this group here. Great leader on the court. Another person within this organization that's thirsty to learn and wants to continue to hone their craft. Olay now on the ball. They're looking to rotate out of the back again. Nearly a turnover, but they make something of it. Can they turn it into a shot? Not quite. Finds itself at the feet of Jose. He starts a counterattack of their own. Midwest moving the ball nicely. Just can't quite seem to get the shot they're looking for. Something of quality that can put Montez to work. This whole game, you got to feel like Midwest has been knocking on the door of the goal. The excitement has not stopped at all. Olay finding the middle of the court. Can they find a shot? They do, but Jose gets down. Vicario finds himself with another save. Great reaction. That came through quick. Not a lot of time to react to that one by the time he saw the shot. Sammy with an effort as the ball got away with him to make sure that it didn't turn dangerous. Big player rotation off the bench here for Midwest. What do they have in mind off of this set piece? And it's Alan Lemus who gets us started again. Midwest looking to try to find the middle, trying to find that dangerous shot. Try and do something off of these lines. Sammy restarts off of Montez, but is under immediate pressure. Midwest creates a play. It looked like a potential foul there. Referee says no. Olay looking to counter still. Midwest resets. Midwest now on the ball, looking for the lift, but it goes straight to an Olay player. Actually, it looks like it might be getting called back. Looks like that'll be a turnover to Olay for a bad kick-in. Esquivel again on the ball. Sammy looking for that penetrating pass down the middle, but it goes straight to goalkeeper Jose Vicario. His distribution finds its way to the opposite keeper. Midwest now with a high press. Gomez gets out of the first one, but loses the ball. Midwest! Can you believe it? What a shot from Midwest. Absolute rocket. Unfortunately, it does not result in the goal for them, but what an effort. You got to feel like it was finally there. Chris Mendez, in the meantime, getting a yellow. I'm not sure what for. Looks like he's not sure what for either. Now Sammy talking to the referee. Part of what he needs to do as a co-captain, but he does have to be careful. Known for sometimes talking a little too long to the officials and more than they like. Looks like things are sorted out. Everyone's got at least somewhat of an understanding moving forward. Looks like something else going on with the officials here. Not exactly sure what, but they're conversing. Will this lead to anything else? Olay now on their 5th foul. Another foul will lead to a PK from the 10-meter mark. Something I've talked about in years past when I talk Olay. A lot of times we find ourselves in these foul situations when we don't need to be up 3 goals. You certainly want to maintain a type of intensity and not let up. But there's also some consideration for the mindset of what that could potentially do down the road. And here we are looking at it. 4.5 minutes left. Lots of time for Midwest. Now we see a red card. Looks like given to Lito Esquivel on the bench. Not sure what happened there. Was that given to Lito, or did I miss see the cue here? Lito's staying on the bench, so he must not have been eliminated from the match. But ref's not happy with something that went on there. Olay now with the restart after some drama. Midwest back on the ball. They got to feel like they can apply a ton of pressure at this point, knowing that Olay is in foul trouble. Force them to make a foul. Force them to do something. Here's a great shot from Midwest. Olay trying to counter on this, but Zamudio can't quite find the space he needs to make it lethal. Midwest on the ball again, looking for a way to get back in this match. Just over 4 minutes to go. Plenty of time for 3 goals. Boris on the ball. He rotates back to the middle. We find ourselves wide on the far side of the court. Back to the middle again. Boris again on the side. He finds the net. What a goal from Midwest United. They bring it back within 2. You had to feel like that goal was coming. Great pressure all second half from Midwest. Great rotation there to make it happen. Lots of time to change the storyline of this game. Olay now on the ball, looking for a way to rotate up the court. Vasquez finds Zamudio. Zamudio running down the court, runs out of space, but retains the possession on a kick-in. Sammy running down the court, looking for a quick shot. It's deflected. After some bouncing around, falls harmlessly to Jose Vicario of Midwest, and he distributes to center court. He finds a passing sequence down the court to Boris again. This time, back post goal for Midwest. Oh my goodness, they won't let this game die. Daniel De Leon finding the back post. Great goal there for Midwest United. They are back in this match again. This is what matches are all about in futsal, folks. Another counterattack for Midwest after the restart. Montez back down on the floor and makes the save this time. What a great effort from Midwest United to stay in this. Anthony Garcia now with a kick-in for Midwest, trying to keep this pressure high. Midwest again rotating across, trying to find that cross across the middle, and they do! It's 6-6. Can you believe it? Gerardo Montanez with the goal. A tap in the center. It is 6-6 in the first ever leg of the Grand Battle for Grand Rapids and FCS. Are you not entertained? High intensity from both teams has led to a 12-goal game so far with 3 minutes to go. You got to know the drama's not over yet. A foul on the touchline in favor of Olay. Midwest picks up their third. What can they make of this set piece to try and regain their lead? We wait for the restart. Referee whistle. Here comes the count. Sammy Esquivel over the ball. He finds the shot to the middle. Chris Mendez looking for the deflection. Corner kick for Olay. They keep the pressure on. Esquivel brother connection leads to Sammy in the middle. He finds Chris Mendez to his right. Switches the court. Rotational play from Olay strong, but they can't quite find that pass to the pivot position. Sammy safely knocks it out of bounds. Midwest gets the ball, though, in a dangerous place with a kick-in just outside the final third of Olay. Midwest controlling the ball. Great momentum swing here for Midwest in front of their fans, feeding off of this home crowd. A lot of Olay fans here as well. They found a way to try and take them out of the game and stay focused. Great thing about this Grand Rapids futsal community is the rivalry goes further than the players. The passion goes further than the players. Fabian telling me midweek that he assumed that once his academy parents started to find out about this game, that they would start to make plans to show up to this match. They care about this club top to bottom. It's not just about the kids in the club. Absolutely love it. Very fortunate for both clubs in Grand Rapids that they have found a way to build a culture that literally feeds from top to bottom. Talk about a grassroots story. Absolutely incredible. Looks like we've got a foul here. And it's the 6th foul, so it will be... What is going on here? Looks like the problem with the jersey? Maybe some blood on the jersey? I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but looks like Montez needs to clean up a little bit of maybe some kind of nosebleed or a cut. So Frankie Mendoza will be coming back in and immediately finds himself under the gun for a 6-foul free kick. No, Montez will continue on. He washed off a little bit of it and the proverbial rub some dirt in it and get back out there. I apologize for the missed call on that, guys. It looks like it was not a penalty. Just to stop a play for what I can only assume was some blood on the jersey. And just the position of the Midwest player with the ball made it look like it might have been that 6th foul, but it is not. I apologize for that missed call. I've heard of filling the shoes of another player, but Montez has to find a way to fill the shirt of Frankie Mendoza now for the rest of the game. Looks like they got to clean up a spot on the floor as well. Apologize for this delay. Whenever these kinds of things happen, I'm always curious what this does to the players. Does it ice them in the momentum? Both teams now have to stay focused, come back out with that same mentality, even though there's been a bit of a lull in play here for an extended period of time. Looks like our Midwest staff here in Aquinas is doing a great job of cleaning things up, making sure everybody's safe and healthy. Don't need any players slipping in anything. More importantly, don't need any issues with the blood on the court. As much as it probably feels like a coliseum to these players, it is not. Want to thank everyone for tuning in to the stream. We appreciate you guys watching FCS and supporting in futsal in America. I'm definitely biased, but I feel like we have some of the greatest talent in this country playing here in the Midwest. And that's across all leagues. Olay now starts with the ball. They're looking for that rotation. Try and find a way to get the ball onto Jose's net here and into the back of the goal. Regain control of this game. Right now, it feels like Midwest is definitely in the driver's seat, and looks like Gio Garcia of Midwest has opted for a timeout. Not a bad idea. You already have a big stoppage in play. Let's reset. Let's make a plan. Let's make sure we're ready. Come out here with some high intensity. I'd imagine Gio is using this opportunity to draw up a play for the last 2 minutes, find a way to pull a win out of this building. They've done a great job defending the fortress so far. Now they have to see it through in the last 2 minutes. Meanwhile, Fabian, on the opposite side of the court, has got his guys in foul trouble. Certainly a bit of intensity that needs to stay in this game if they want to regain control against Midwest. What is he telling his players to make sure that they recapture that balance? Olay making their way back to the court. Few final words from Gio as they start to break up that huddle as well. Marching orders given. And as we stare at a tie match in the final 2 minutes, could you imagine it being any other way for this rivalry match in Grand Rapids? Two high octane teams with a lot of talent in them. Midwest snuffs out the Ole play, but the shot on the other side, safe as you want for Montez. Ole now playing out of the back. Sammy finding the diagonal ball, ultimately gets it back. A nice 1-2 combination down the court for Ole. Tried to keep it in, but unfortunately Lito was unable to. Ran out of space on that touchline. And Midwest now has the ball. Daniel sliding back to help his teammates. Daniel DeLeon for Midwest. Some physical play there coming from, I believe, Chris Mendez. Results in a foul. This should be the 6th foul and a shot from the 10-meter mark. Chris has got to be careful here. He's already on a yellow. Looks less like arguing as much as trying to understand, but you got to imagine the referee is getting a little tired of explaining himself, especially this late in the match. This is just as physically taxing on those officials, and then they have to deal with the mental aspect of it as well. As the referees sort this out and get ready for the 10-meter mark, Montez going through his pre-kick ritual. Quick update around the league. Imperial now up 6-1 on Midwest. They are technically the away team in a game that is taking place in Lansing Arena, where Midwest is playing their home games this year. Another rivalry match within FCS that we've seen tonight. It's rivalry night in a lot of ways. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for after some delay. Midwest teeing up for a penalty kick. Montez steps out. He cannot save it, but it goes over the top just as well. 6-6 still. Now Ole on the ball. They get away with one there. Can they control this game? Mendez and Lito Esquivel combining for a couple of passes. Ultimately, Mendez gets out of some trouble after a double team. Ole crosses the ball across the face of the goal, but it results to nothing. Jose finds himself under pressure again, but no shot yet. And Ole finds themselves resetting at center court. Almost turns over the ball. Sammy ultimately gets it back for Ole. Chris Mendez now over top of it. Sammy with another big shot, but it's well off target. Ole getting back. Midwest finding the middle. Montez, though, is able to shut it down. As we look down the barrel of the final minute of a very intense match. Ole here, trying to find the center, can't. Midwest looking for the counter. They have it. It's snuffed out by Ole, but only barely. Can they make something out of a counter? We see a foul. Ole, Sammy especially, really upset with that one. He felt like he had the momentum and the advantage. But now we see the reason it was called. We see a red card for Midwest, their second one of the night. Unbelievable. Now in the final 45 seconds, Ole is up a man. Is this their chance to steal the game away back after being up by multiple goals several times? Or can Midwest survive another power play? Ole on the ball, looking for the rotation, looking for the shot. Midwest now on the ball. What will they do? Is there a man down? Smart play by Jose, in theory, as he tried to burn some time by throwing the ball straight up in the air, looking for some hang time to kill that clock. Unfortunately, hits the ceiling of Aquinas College. And Ole find themselves back with the ball. Unfortunate result on an otherwise intelligent play. Esquivel's combining. Sammy with a shot. They're looking for the deflection for the corner. Referee gives it. Chris Mendez, who was looking to poke that in on the back post, now sees the corner. Out to Lito. He finds Sammy in the middle. Sammy back to Lito. Lito back to Chris. Chris across goal. Jose Vicario ready for it. Again, he burns some time. Shoots it out of the back. forcing Olay to reset all the way back on their own end. 23 seconds to go. Montez restarts with the kick in. Lito fast run up their own half. Couple passing plays. Deflection on the shot. Sammy finds the ball again. And that is actually the game after that, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit off on our stream clock. I apologize, but a great effort from both teams results in our first tie of the season, 6-6 between Olay and Midwest United. You saw so much of what makes this rivalry special in this game. Olay up 2 goals on 2 different occasions. Midwest, never say die attitude, being fed by this intensity of this game and this familiarity with the other team, finds a way back into it. They find themselves a point at home in their first match of FCS. Olay is welcomed to the league by their rivals. Unfortunately, they have to split the points, but what a great match. What an amazing match from both these guys.